Hey everyone, happy Thursday. I hope you're having a great Thursday. I'm having a decent one myself. Um, this week, I want to talk to you guys about the witching hour. And no, I'm not referring to like real witches or anything like that. I'm talking about the witching hour as it pertains to your probably very close to a newborn baby, but it can go up to 3 months, basically, still a newborn. Anyways, so what I want to talk about this week is how you can survive it because the witching hour can be so hard on parents. It can even be hard on children, well, the baby. So I want to give you some tips so that you can work through this. I'm not saying this is going to be a be all end all and your life's going to be 20 times easier because of these tips. But if you follow these tips, it's going to be much easier on you and your baby than it would be if you just did nothing. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. The first tip that I would have for you, or actually, I guess I should maybe give you the signs of the witching hour, because those are important. The witching hour will usually occur, I would say it'll start when they're around 2 to 3 weeks old. It'll really peak around 6 weeks old, and then it'll start to taper off around 3 months old. So that's when it'll start to happen. And usually it happens around the time of 4 p.m. and midnight. So that's what they call the witching hour, even though it's unfortunately it's hours. It's not really an hour, sadly to say. Um, and so that would be when it would start occurring for your little one. As I said before, it's usually a newborn thing. Um, and Also, I don't know if you guys know this about the witching hour, but um, the name is actually derived from old folklore. And what it was about another name for it is the devil's hour. So it was named the witching hour because it was when supernatural events would happen at this time of night, usually around 4 p.m. to midnight. Really creepy, and even saying the name the witching hour is kind of creepy for me, but I wish it had a different name, but as far as I know, it doesn't. So anyways, that is the like meaning to this name. And as we apply it today, it's supposed to be that our poor little babies are possessed by these said demons that occurred back in the day. Um, but obviously, our kids aren't possessed by it, but they can act like it, kind of, I guess you could say. They're not possessed, though, don't worry. So, anyways, I told you about when it would start happening. And so some signs that you would have would be your baby starts crying a lot more than they usually are at that time, crying more. They'll be hard to settle and to soothe. Uh, it's like nothing that you do matters. You're trying to soothe your baby, you're trying to calm them, relax them, and nothing is working. They are just screaming. And the amount of fussiness or crankiness that they usually experience is increasing a lot during this time. Um, I will say that this has to happen for at least a week consistently to actually start being considered the witching hour. It can't just happen one night and you're like, oh, they're experiencing the witching hour. No, it needs to happen at least for a week and then keep continuing to happen for you to actually call it what it is. So let's get into how you can get through this with a little more ease than you would if you did nothing. The first tip I want to get you it would be to start the bedtime routine earlier. At this age, your baby is not going to be on a set schedule. They're too young for that at this age. So what you're going to be going by is their wake windows. Um, and usually they'll have a certain amount of awake time according to their age. But you also want to be paying attention to sleepy cues. And this is especially important during bedtime. If you see that your little one is giving you sleepy cues and it's not like when they're normally ready for bed, that's fine. Start the bedtime routine as soon as you see those sleepy cues. Start it and get them to bed as soon as you can. This is good for a couple of reasons, and one of them being that if you're putting them down when they start showing those sleepy cues, then you'll prevent them from being overtired, which is something that you really want to do. And then another thing would be if you do get them down, maybe it's a bit earlier than usual, but that's okay because they can get that extra sleep in before this witching hour starts. hopefully. And then you can even have a little more time to relax before it starts. So it's good for both of those reasons. Another thing that you can do is skin to skin contact or baby wearing. Babies of this age, well, babies of any age, but especially this age when they're still used to the womb, the sounds of the womb, the feelings, um, the brightness. It's really nice for them to have skin on skin contact. It can help lower their temperature, which can really help to soothe them, but it can also help them to, if they feel the warmth of your skin, it can help their heartbeat to start beating closer to yours instead of being really high. And because they're crying and they're upset, so their heartbeat is going to be beating faster. But if you put them onto your skin, it kind of more regulates their heartbeat, and they can hear your heartbeat, which is something that they heard in the womb and something that is very calming and soothing for them. So it's really good to do that, whether you're just doing skin on skin contact, just laying there with skin on skin contact with him, or you can baby wear. Say maybe you need to get things done around the house and they're freaking out and crying. Put them in the if you have something to carry them, put them in that and baby wear them for a little bit. Um, you can even just baby wear them to calm them, and maybe even they can fall asleep for a little bit in there. And so another tip for you would be to change the scenery. Um, I can't even stress enough how much going outside and getting some fresh air and sunshine can help so much with refreshing the baby, giving them better mood, and you too. It's good for everybody. A little bit of vitamin D can go a long way. So get outside, get in the sunshine. That will help your baby to be calmer, more relaxed. And I mean, it's good for the older kids as well, for them to get outside and lose some energy. I have two older kids, so I know exactly how that is. Um, and this also helps to prepare them for bedtime. If they get a lot of sunshine, well, even just a little bit of sunshine and fresh air, it can give them that refresher at the time, but then it also prepares them for bedtime and it calms them enough to be really relaxed and calm for bedtime. So dimming the lights is another tip that I'd have for you. Lights can be very overstimulating, especially for a newborn. Very overstimulating. So if it's during the witching hour, definitely dim those lights. If you can turn them off, that's great. But obviously, you need to be able to see. Maybe leave a TV on or something so you have a little bit of light there. But really dim the lights. Because this will help to relax them and it's not as overstimulating to them. And also, you can dim the lights and cuddle up with them, read a little book, or do an activity that's calming and relaxing for the both of you, and that can really set the mood. Another tip that I have for you would be cluster feed. Why on earth would you tell me to cluster feed, Courtney? Well, that is because at this point in time, a lot of babies want to cluster feed. They want to cluster feed for, I mean, a few different reasons. One of the, obviously they may be hungry. They may be going through a growth spurt, because growth spurts happen around this time and it can actually add to the witching hour. So there's a bunch of reasons why they may want to cluster feed. Maybe they just want comfort as well. And those are all okay. If you're able to do it, give in to the cluster feed. Sit down, put some snacks beside you, some water, keep yourself fed and hydrated, and just relax on the couch and do the cluster feeding. Just give into it. And that doesn't mean that you have to do this forever, and I don't recommend doing this past the newborn stage. But during this stage, it's a lot easier for babies the habits aren't formed as easily as when they're an older child. So it's all right now. So don't think that you're going to be cluster feeding for the rest of their childhood or their babyhood. You're not. So just do it for now. I promise you, after 3 months, they more than likely won't be going through the witching hour anymore, and these cluster feeds more than likely won't be happening. So you should be okay. And the last tip I have for you, which is probably one of the most important in my opinion, would be to switch out with your partner. If you feel like you are getting stressed out, overwhelmed, or like this is too much for you, do not feel bad switching out with your partner. It's okay to tap out. It's all right. In fact, I actually suggest doing this because you want your mood and emotions to be as calm and relaxed as you possibly can, because if they're not, that's going to feed off on your little one. they pick up on emotions and feelings very, very easily, more than we give them credit for. It's one of the only things they can actually read off us at this time, because they don't know words. They're babies. They don't know what you're saying. So they feed off of our emotions, our how we're portraying ourselves, if we're angry, and the tone of our voice, things like that. So if you feel like you're becoming stressed and overwhelmed, give the baby to your spouse for a little bit, or whoever you have helping you at that time, and take a little break. Once you feel calm and relaxed again, then you can tap back in, and you can do what you need to do to help. But do not feel ashamed that you have to take a break. It is actually for the best that you do if you are feeling overwhelmed. The best for the baby and the best for you. The best thing that you could do. So don't feel ashamed by it. Make sure you take that break if you need to. And the last thing I wanted to say, which is a very important side note that every parent should be aware of, is that if your little one is experiencing crying for 3 or more hours, 3 or more days of the week, and for more than 3 weeks, then it could mean more than the witching hour. It could mean that they have colic. So it's very important that you speak with your doctor about this and make sure that they know about it. And if you do have issues with that, I would love to help you with any sleep issues that you're having if your baby has colic. So send me a direct message if you'd like, and I would love to help you. Also, I have a group that's called Sleep Little One, where I give weekly tips and advice to parents just like you who are exhausted, hoping for sleep, better sleep, and they want to get on the road back to a good night's sleep. And I would be more than happy to help you. I give out, like I said, weekly tips and tricks. So come check us out there. The link is in the description box. I'd love to see you guys there. And yeah, that's basically all I have for you guys today. If you're looking for a more personalized one-on-one sleep plan that you want specifically for your little one, then please check out my website, sleeplittleone.org, and look at my services, see if anything works for you, and give me a contact me, and we can get you on the road to better sleep. I would love to help you. I would love to help your little one. So anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying your day. I hope you have a great weekend, and we will talk soon. Bye.